Joe Biden gives $53 billion to Ukraine. What else could have been done with that money? I'm not just going to single it out on Joe Biden, but he's the perfect example of the problem that we really have right now in our Western nations. The UK is the same. Australia is the same. And that is basically that the governments send money overseas as foreign aid instead of helping their own people. In the UK, if someone comes across the channel in a boat illegally, they get classed as homeless. And because of their rules, they kind of need to be housed because you can't have a homeless person. But UK citizens who don't have a house get called rough sleepers. Now, because that designation is different, you don't have to help a rough sleeper, but you can have to help a homeless person. But they're not classified as homeless, so we don't help them. Those illegals on the boat, we do classify them as homeless, so we help them. Meanwhile, we give billions of dollars in foreign aid. Australia does the same, although we don't really call them rough sleepers, we just don't help them. Australian government just gives billions of dollars in foreign aid and just ignores the homeless people in Australia, and every night there's roughly 100,000 people in Australia who are homeless. 100,000. 100,000. There's towns in this country that are not that big. So in America, apparently, there's between 500,000 and 600,000 people are homeless. There are cities that don't have 500,000 people. Imagine a whole city that's homeless. That's the sort of numbers we're talking about. 500,000 and 600,000 people that are homeless. So what could $53 billion do? Just one example is there are charities in the US, they build something called a Conestoga. Now, this is in honor of the Conestoga wagons from the Wild West. That was the wagon that had that little fabric arch. They don't build fabric arches for homeless people, but it's the shape that matters. They build a shape that is in the same shape as that Conestoga arch. Roughly the size of a single car garage, roughly about 3 meters wide by 6 meters deep, and I think that's about 10 feet by 20 feet or something like that. I don't know, but that's my guesstimate of 6 meters by 3 meters. And it's an arch, flat end walls, window at this end, door at this end. You can put in a small air conditioner in a hot climate area. Little awning, little porch, so that they're not just going ground and inside. And you could have, it doesn't take up a lot of land, you could have maybe 20, 30 or 40 of these scattered in a little quarter-acre block around a central commune kitchen, a central set of amenities, and you'd be housing 40 or 50 homeless people in each little block. Those things only cost less than $5,000. So $53 billion would be able to build 10 million of these things, 10 million Conestogas, but you've only got 500,000 or 600,000 homeless people. So you clearly don't need to build 10 million of them. Build 600,000, you've got plenty to house the homeless. Instantly, you've solved all the homeless. You're looking after your own people first. This is the argument that I have. Now, there are people that will jump up and down and they don't like their tax dollars going to help their own citizens. First things first, your tax dollars is not what the government spends when they send money overseas. They're not sending your tax dollars over there. They're not collecting your, it doesn't work that way. But this isn't the video to discuss how it works. That's for another video. But this is the problem that all Western nations have. They care about other nations first instead of their own people.